Judge issues bench warrant for Victor Sean of Denison after apparent sovereign citizen fails to show for trial. Victor Sean Denison of California, maybe he should be called Victor Sean of California, was scheduled to begin a trial Monday before U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden. Now, this article is from June 7th, but it is definitely some interesting sovereign citizen content. Now, before we jump into the article, everybody raise your cup, your glass in the air. Cheers with me. It tastes better when we sip together. This is some steaming hot Dunkin' Donuts home roasted coffee. I mean, really, life doesn't get much better than this, all right? Take the same time, sip with me. You may drink tea, you may drink water, you may be drinking beer because you're watching this in the evening. And if you're drinking beer in the day, I'm not going to criticize you for that either. All right? Raise your cup and your glass. Cheers. Very good. Especially not going to criticize on a holiday. Okay, let's take a look at this article. Washington, a federal judge issued a bench warrant Monday for the arrest of a January 6th defendant who failed to appear for a scheduled trial date. Victor Sean Denison of California. I mean, that's kind of could I be Joe of Palmetto? I guess I could be Joseph Dominic of Palmetto. Here's the difference, though. Palmetto is a real town in Italy. I don't know. There's probably a town in England or somewhere called Denison. Victor Sean Denison of California was charged in January with 4 misdemeanor counts for allegedly entering the U.S. Capitol after noticing doors had been breached. Denison, who was wearing an all-aboard-the-Trump train hat, reportedly told investigators he'd seen a man holding a hammer near a smashed window before he entered. Okay, but he wasn't the guy with the hammer. Denison elected to represent himself and was assigned a federal public defender as standby counsel. He was scheduled to begin trial before U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden on Monday, but according to court records, failed to appear. Not a big surprise there. McFadden issued a bench warrant for his arrest the same day. We got a photo of the individual. On Wednesday, McFadden filed a letter from Denison to the public docket that appeared to echo common phrases from the sovereign citizen movement, a loosely organized right-wing ideology that believes virtually all existing government in the United States is illegitimate, according to the Anti-Defamation League. In the letter, which was sent to standby counsel and Justice Department attorneys, Denison refers to himself variously as the beneficiary of his trust, which may in fact be true if he has a trust, an American freeman, a living, breathing man, and as Victor Sean of Denison, the trust protector. Sovereign citizens often claim they are not citizens of the United States, but rather sovereign unto themselves, and therefore freed from the jurisdiction of the de facto government and courts. Although you should be aware, writer of this article, that they don't like to be called sovereign citizens, and they don't like to refer to themselves as sovereign citizens. Sovereign citizens also frequently insist there is a distinction between the living person and the corporate trust, sometimes referred to as a dead entity. They believe the government created when they were born to unwittingly force them into a contract. Hey, we're all unwittingly brought into this world. Denison referenced those ideas repeatedly in his letter, and we're going to take a look at that letter. You cannot represent a living man, Denison wrote to his standby counsel. I'm a living man. An attorney can only represent the dead. When you use the words you and your, are you referring to a dead entity? Are you trying to summon the dead, or do you mean the living, breathing man? Well, let me back this up by saying, I love my clients. I truly do. I love all of my clients. They're well and they're alive. Now, some of them, do I wish they would not bother me? Do I wish them dead? Okay. No, I don't wish them dead. But man, some of them bother the hell out of me. But they're all living and they're all breathing, and I'm an attorney, and they pay me living, breathing money, which is often what these sovereign citizens are after. But this guy is just trying to avoid the law. Let it be known, the provost marshal has been noticed. Denison also warned cryptically, in apparent reference to a belief held by some sovereign citizens, according to a 2015 briefing, that military authorities will intervene in the event of their arrest or prosecution. Well, I'm sure they hope that that would happen. Okay, here's the Twitter post. Judge McFadden also filed a letter today, Victor Sean Denison, sent to his standby counsel, in which he cryptically warned the provost marshal had been noticed. This is not something, the judge filed this isn't something that you want on your court docket record. This is to quote then Chief Judge Beryl Howell, sovereign citizen gobbledygook. More here. So let's read the letter. Victor Sean, of the house and lineage of Denison, which probably a very nice and quaint town in the heart of England. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, that's as big as we get. It says up at the top, Victor Sean, of the house and lineage of Denison, child of God, grantor of original jurisdiction and beneficiary of the resultant trust, American Freeman, America Republic. Everything is trust, and there is nothing that is not trust. No trust can fail for want of a trustee. The primary responsibility of the trustee is to protect and defend the trust. Sounds like gobbledygook to me, too. Cheers, Judge. Excuse me. Judge McFadden. This is one I haven't heard before. We're going to have to look this up. Dear Oobong. What's an Oobong? I need to ask you, how can Judge McFadden lawfully issue forth a bench warrant after the court has already received, obtained, and has custody of the surrendered legal person? Oh, Oobong is his standby counsel. Okay. Are you trying to compel the beneficiary to put his life in danger? And any actions against the trust would be a war crime. Okay. I, beneficiary, do not understand your communication, nor the language within your letter. Oh, he must not speak English. I do not recognize the title of Mr. This is a contentious point to me, because I can't tell you how many times I have mentioned this to you all. Yet somehow, you all keep doing it. Another important point, you, Oobong, and I, Victor Sean of Denison, have no valid contract. You cannot represent a living man. I'm a living man. An attorney can only represent the dead. When you use the words you and your, are you referring to a dead entity? Are you trying to summon the dead? Or do you mean the living, breathing man? The reason I ask is, the court has already recognized that I am the living, breathing man. So please clarify. Please see attached image, which evidences this point. I have to comment this sovereign citizen on one thing. He used pretty good grammar and very, very nice and logical writing there. Everything that he wrote is gobbledygook, but he wrote it in a way that a high school English teacher would likely appreciate. All right, back to the article. Denison isn't the first Capitol riot defendant to seemingly espouse sovereign citizen beliefs. Pauline Bauer, a Pennsylvania pizza shop owner who McFadden sentenced to more than 2 years in prison last month, asserted early in her case that she was not a person. James Beeks, a Broadway actor accused of entering the Capitol with other members of the Oath Keepers on January 6, denied during a court hearing that he was a sovereign citizen and insisted he was instead an American standing under public law, here by special divine appearance. God dropped him right into that courtroom. As of Wednesday afternoon, there was no record in the public docket of the arrest warrant against Denison being served. And I Googled his name. It's June 19th now, and I don't believe that they have him in custody, or at least if they do, it hasn't been reported in the news. The U.S. Army Provost Marshal General had yet to make an appearance in the case. Okay, so here's the letter. Very interesting, very funny that the judge actually filed it on the docket. Here's the gentleman. My thoughts here are that's the last thing that you want on a docket. And, you know, judges are going to are going to take into account all this gobbledygook when it comes time to sentence the individual if and when he's convicted. And you don't want to add time to your sentence by espousing nonsense and annoying and or insulting the court, because I can tell you that will in fact add time to your sentence. So this is one to watch. We'll see if and when Victor Sean of Denison. Let me check something real quick before we go. This is just this is just going to be a fun little test here. There it is. There's the town of Denison. Denison even has a pretty cool family crest and coat of arms. Let's see where this town is. Not that I know very much. All right. So this is Denison, USA. Denison, United Kingdom. That sounds like an English name. Wouldn't you all agree? This is all I'm getting. Maybe there is no Denison in England. I like to trace the origins of last names. I find it interesting. Whether somebody is, their last name sometimes is from like a prior, the profession or the work that the person did, or it is in fact a town. But I can't find the town of Denison anywhere in England. All right, Mr. Denison, well, it's probably a good idea to renounce your sovereign citizen beliefs before you go to face that judge. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Common Sense Academy. I'm your host, Joe Palmetto, Joe the Lawyer. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Those are absolutely free ways to support the channel. You can also sign up for my email list or buy my book. One way is free. One way costs a little bit of money, but you get something in return. Check out everything in the comments below. Have a great day. Joe Palmetto, Joe the Lawyer, signing off. Goodbye.